G'day and welcome to this week's video. Here's a question I would like to pose. Given that we see constant changing of superannuation law, and I'm thinking about the law that's in the news at the moment for those that have $3 million or more in their superannuation, as an individual, not as a couple, there's going to be some extra taxes. Some is probably fair and some of them, the unrealised tax on capital gains, most people, everyone sees unfair. But this constant change of rules is a legislative risk, and should this stop us from investing into superannuation moving forward? Now, I see a few comments on social media, which I get to see quite a few interesting comments there, that people are saying that it's now essentially uninvestable. So let's go back and have a think about changes that we've seen in the past and how that's affected superannuation and who it's affected superannuation. So the first one that I think about is many years ago, you were able to put in whatever you wanted to superannuation with no contribution caps at all, and you could claim a tax deduction across any amount of money that you put in, large amounts of money. Obviously that was reduced down to $25,000 and it's been indexed up to what is now $30,000. So that's a change of law where they're just saying, well, you can't put too much in and claim a tax deduction of and only pay 15 cents on the dollar. The other major one is obviously the non-concessional caps, but I don't see that as a huge one. Not too many people prior to retirement put in significant amount of money into superannuation. The big change that I believe was back in 2017, where people could have in retirement any amount in superannuation and be in an account-based pension, in pension mode, and that would be completely tax-free within the fund. There'd be no 15% tax on that, and the pension you would receive would be taxed at zero as well. So the famous, I'm quite sure this was real, wasn't an urban myth, there was a self-managed super fund here in Australia that had $100 million within it, and that was in pension mode. It was completely tax-free. And for me, it was completely unreasonable that someone of that amount of wealth should be getting that free ride on that amount of money. So what the government did is they brought in what they called the transfer balance cap, and that is the amount you can transfer from your super into an account-based pension, which is therefore tax-free. That started off at $1.6 million, and now from the 1st of July this year, which is 2025, that's going to be $2 million. This is per person, so still a household with two people in the household in retirement can have up to $4 million completely tax-free in retirement. So it's still very attractive when we're putting money into superannuation. For those that earn less than $250,000, you will pay 15 cents on the dollar instead of your marginal tax rate, which above $190,000, you will pay 47 cents on the dollar. So is superannuation still investable as a tax entity? Of course it is. For the average Aussie, it's a great place and the best place to accumulate wealth for your retirement. To think about the average Aussie that earns between $45,000 and $135,000, instead of paying 32 cents on the dollar, you pay 15 cents on the dollar. That is a guaranteed return of 17 cents. Good win. Of course, people that are younger, that have debt to pay off, superannuation is not going to be your own strategy. Superannuation is not the only strategy. Money outside of superannuation, for those that may want to retire early, is definitely something that people should consider. So it's not a one-size-fits-all for anyone. Everyone has different goals and objectives. But superannuation should be part of the mix, but it doesn't have to be all of it. Although this video was all about why superannuation is still investable. Please remember this is general advice only. Please seek personal advice if you need. Cheers.